I'm Camry Gibson. Welcome to the Camry Gibson Show, the podcast. I believe that one of the most precious gifts you can share with someone is your story. Pain has purpose and stories can change lives. Your journey to become more inspired and transformed by the lives of those around us starts now.
And welcome to the Camry Gibson Show, where we talk about transforming our pain into power. Today, I have a special guest with me here today. His name is Omari. Omari, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience for me, please?
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Camry. It's a pleasure to be here. Hopefully, we can, shed a positive light on your audience, and hopefully they can learn something and take something from this today.
So, Omari, talk to me about where you're from and what was it like growing up there?
I'm originally, well, let me slow back because my family really get mad when I say this. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I lived there for about, I'm sorry. I lived there for about since I was about two, maybe one, going on two. And then I was raised in California all my life, Northern California to be exact, South Sacramento. Those were my stomping grounds. That's where I would necessarily would call my home. However, I did move around a lot growing up. I lived in Oregon, and I lived in Atlanta as well too throughout my childhood. But I always ended up coming back to Sacramento. So Sacramento is one of those cities that's not a big tourist attraction type of city, but the people that are from there and the people that love the city, they're comfortable in that city, so they're always gonna go there. They're always gonna stay there, no matter if they leave. They're always gonna come back. Sacramento's is just one of those type of cities. Um, so yeah, I can't. There's a lot of bad things I could say about Sac. There's a lot of good things that I could say about Sac. But Sac is what made me who I am today, honestly. So I have nothing but good things to say about Sac.
When you tell people you're from South Sacramento, like, what do you usually educate people on? Like, what do you like to draw out about your hometown to people?
Oof. Well, when people approach me about being from South Sacramento, of course, you being an LA native, the first thing they talk about is gang violence. Some of the gang territory, some of the gang stuff that's going on, and it is what people think it is. Like, I ain't gonna sugarcoat anything. It is what people think it is, but I try to necessarily glorify more so the culture of Sacramento, how we are so close to LA, the Bay Area, and at times how we can all come together and be a family. Those are some really great moments. Being on the West Coast side. So a lot of people think Sacramento is the Bay, which is not. It's really Northern California, but we'll take it. We we show love everywhere we go. But yeah, outside of just the gang violence and the stuff like that, Sacramento is a very it's the city of trees. You know, it's really a location for people who necessarily are on their second life. They're getting ready to retire, like that type of thing. Of course, sports is good there. Film is great there because you're right there in the capital of California. So that's where I really started to get into film and try to figure out and identify what my dreams and stuff is in Sacramento. But you know, a lot of people call Sacramento the city of no hope, but that only that only determines the type of person that you are. If you the fall into being just a statistic, as some people would say. But it was very challenging growing up in Sac. It was very challenging growing up in Sac, being that I didn't I didn't necessarily live in um, what do you want to call it? I guess you could say, like, I didn't have certain advantages that other people did, But when it comes to growing up as a kid, like, I'll put it like this: I had to walk to school, and some people parents picked them up from school and drove them to school. I had to catch the public bus to go to school from my house was 20 minutes away from where I live. So, I had those type of things that I had to deal with at an early age. So basically I say all that to say I have to grow up fast living in Sacramento. You gotta be able to adapt to your habitat, adapt to your environment, really understand how to move when you're out there as well too, because it is, such a gang criminal activity is so high out there. And just because I got on a blue shirt or a red shirt, somebody, or if I like listening to a certain rapper that is a sucker or opposite from a different hood, even though the hoods could be 10 minutes away from each other, you know, um, you got to just be careful and mindful of those type of things. And it's crazy. You have to be mindful of the music that you listen to around people, mindful of the music that you listening to when you're driving in your car. So those are some type of the challenges and adversity that I had to deal with just growing up in Sacramento. But it made me a survivor. I feel like I can go anywhere and be good because of that. And I'm grateful and appreciative of that. However, I am more grateful that I was able to leave that environment and expand and broaden my horizon to different things.
I'm glad you were able to leave too. Yes, sir. What was it like inside of Omari's household with the home?
Um, my parents got divorced when I was 10. My parents got divorced when I was 10. Um, I really didn't understand that why they got divorced, because what kid really understands love at 10? Um, but um, as I got older, I kind of understood both sides of my parents. Um, it was, I can say that, it was, my parents definitely did have a good co-parenting relationship. Um, After my parents got divorced, that's when I transitioned and moved to Atlanta and everything. So I still had a good, strong relationship with my dad. Um, I still had a good, strong relationship with my dad. I still had a good, strong relationship with my mom. But of course, there were some things that I just understand why they got divorced. But I say all that to say I'm completely confident and vulnerable to be able to talk about it now. But my father passed away in April and of this year, excuse me. And yeah, I was never really expected to lose a parent. Like I never, I never really, you never could really prepare yourself for that type of feeling, and that really broke me down hard, that really broke me down. But my dad, he had an alcoholic addiction problem. Um, he had an alcoholic addiction problem, and that was one of the reasons why my parents got divorced. Is because of that. Um, which I understand, from my mom's perspective, to be on that side of it and having to see him in those type of different state of minds and stuff like that, it can be draining and exhausting for a woman. So I definitely understand that. Um, to be dealing with somebody or be in a relationship with someone that is dealing with addiction, that's very draining for your significant other or your partner. So my grandmother passed away when I was probably about like 12, 13, 14 years old. And that's when my dad stopped drinking alcohol, period. So when his mother passed away, and from there he was just like, I want to spend the rest of my life sober. My mom's gone. I want to spend the rest of my life sober. And he stopped drinking after that. So I was able to at least experience about 10 years, 12 years of up into my 20s of my dad living a sober life. Um, so that was that was a very special moment for me in my life to be able to see that. But yeah, so that was kind of like what it was like living in two households. I'm sure whoever watching this can probably um, relate to that as well too. But it wasn't really of course, it had its times, its hard times, but it wasn't nothing that I haven't gotten through before. Um, but I want to say, after after my parents got divorced, that's when things really started to life really started to hit me as a kid, and I really started to have to grow up fast. So, yeah, I don't know if you want me to give some more, or if you got another question you want me to ask.
Oh, I have the questions, but I'm letting it flow. And I'm so sorry, Omari. That's very soon. Very,
Yeah.
very soon. Very, very sorry. What? It's very fresh. What are you? What current stage are you in right now? Since your father's passing, mentally, spiritually, where are you at right now?
Spiritually, I can necessarily say that I'm getting closer to God. I'm getting my relationship is getting even more stronger than it was before. Um, because experiencing losing a parent as an adult, no matter the people that are around you, your support system, they can't necessarily relate to how you feel. So the only thing that you can lean on is a higher power or something spiritual, you know. Um, so that's I have felt like I haven't been I feel like I haven't listened to God or heard God as clearly as I have my entire life until now. Um, Mentally, I'm a strong-minded person. So um, I'm gonna get through the day, regardless of how I'm feeling. If I'm smiling, if I'm not smiling, I'm gonna get through the day. That's just how I am. I'm a survivor. I was raised on survival, so I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm past that grieving stage where now I'm trying to get back into the mix of things and uh, speak on other people's platforms like yourself and work on some of my own projects. So now I'm coming underneath that rock and ready to get back and get active. You feel me? So uh, I'm doing good.
Absolutely, man. I had to ask because I lost somebody. My grandmother raised me, right? I was raised by my father and my grandmother, not my mother. My mother actually struggled with alcohol addiction, which is why she couldn't raise me, right?
Hmm.
Sorry, somebody's walking by. But I've lost several people since then. I have my grandma's name tatted on me. The age she died is also on my neck as well. And I'm 26 years old. She died when I was 18, and it's still today. I still have a hard time accepting she's not here. I
Hmm.
still get sad that she can't see me grow up and become a woman when she invested years into who I am today. And yeah, I just wanted to share just from my journey, just it's okay to be changed and to not be the same person that you were before they left. It's okay. I'll
It's
never be the
okay
same
to
person.
not be okay.
It's okay
It's
to not
okay.
be okay.
Yeah, and I've had to
Okay.
learn that. I have to learn that myself too as well. It's okay to not be okay. Like, hey, I'm not feeling it right now. And for everyone that is watching, that's trying to keep pushing through and keep pushing through, take your time, yo. Take your time for real and to yourself, reset, recharge. Um, cause take it from me, cause I knew I wasn't okay, but I was still trying to sweep it under the rug and things like that. Whether it's losing a close loved one, whether it's you know whatever may be challenging and whatever um, may leave a stain on you, whatever may leave a stain on you. Take that time because I got sick. Like I literally got sick, and I feel like that was God telling me like, chill out, yo. Take some time, grieve, get your mind right, be become closer to family, the family that you do have, or the loved ones, or the support system that you do have, and just be present. Just really, really be present and understand how you feel, what's going on, and deal with it. Don't try to go over it. Don't go through it. You know what I mean? So, um, I had to learn that, of course, the hard way. I went to the hospital probably like twice this year, and that's a lot for me because I don't get sick like that. So I really that really made me start to pay attention to my body, my mind, and how I felt. If I can go out today and do it, I will. If I can't do it. I'll try again tomorrow. That's the great thing about living.
Yep.
Every other day you get a chance to try again.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
absolutely.
It's okay. Yes, thank you for saying that. Just to be transparent, every so often when I feel myself growing, immensely, I have crying spells. So that means I just start crying randomly. And I'm not
Hmm.
high, I'm not drunk, but it's like I'm almost forced to acknowledge that a change is happening inside of me, you know?
Yeah,
And I attribute a lot of it to the death and the ancestors and all that. But one last thing I want to say before we transition about on death is that I tell everybody who loses people is that they don't go anywhere. They're in our veins. They're in our blood.
absolutely.
So we're not separate from them. We actually got closer, We actually got
Absolutely.
tighter. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be spiritual on that, but thank you, Omari. I'm sorry again. Um, Me and Omari actually know each other from attending the same college, Texas Southern University, which is in Third Ward, Houston, Texas. I transferred to TSU in 2018, 2019. And I
Hmm.
remember the first day I seen you, or I just met you or whatever, saw you. We all had to stand up in class and introduce ourselves. I can't remember what class it was, but I remember
We had a few
we,
classes
we
together.
did because we
Those
both in,
those
huh?
core classes, the English, the writing, critical
Yeah,
analysis, all that type of stuff
mhm,
that we used to have to go through. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because we were both in School of Communication. So
Hmm.
that's like the creative type of department, the writers, producers, videographers, and shit. But I had told myself, like, I think I got up and I said, I'm from LA, blah, 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 blah. I'm from California. And I remember Omari had said he from Sacramento. And I'm like, oh, somebody else from California is up in here. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. And I don't know, ever since then, I'm not going to call you out, but you was always kind of late coming to class. It happened. But you was always cool. You was always cool. You was chill. You would be like, okay, what's the assignment? What's the directions? Like, you was cool. Like you always kind of just felt your way around through the class. Talk
Yeah.
to me about what your experience was like at TSU and how'd you ended up there.
Okay, so coming from Southside, um, of course, a lot of people. The main question a lot of people asked me was, "Why didn't you join? Why didn't you go to a California state school? And why didn't you do this?" And I'm gonna flat out tell you right now, I was never a good student in my life, ever. Like I never was a good student in my life. When I knew I'm the type of person, which I've grown and I've gotten out of this. I used to procrastinate a lot, but when I felt that pressure coming, I would always hop on it, get it done, and I would always get by. And then I would always get by. I always finesse out the way. But eventually, once I got to college, I started to realize that that wasn't going to work for me no more, or it it would only work to a certain extent. Like I only what the effort that I put in and the work that I put in, those are the same results that I was going to get, you know? Um, and that took me about to my sophomore year of college to realize that, uh, coming away, being from not a small city, but being from uh, a city where I necessarily didn't have so much freedom growing up, and then coming to one of the top five diverse cities in America here in Houston, um, Texas Southern University being in the heart of Houston, there was a lot of things going on that I couldn't do back home. Like I couldn't walk to the store and chill out there and talk to people for a minute. Like I couldn't. You really couldn't walk nowhere. You really couldn't get on the light rail and not even just get harassed by police, but get harassed by anybody, so having that freedom and being raised basically off of survival, um, coming to Texas and seeing how that's how everybody moved already, with the laws being changed and stuff like that. I mean, my first 2 years in college, I was having a field day. I had a lot of my friends from Sacramento that ended up coming out there. Yeah, we didn't go to the same school, but we knew each other because we were in the same community. And so, um, man, we were just having a time. And then, of course, as you can say, like time catches up with everybody. Some of those friends, some of those good friends, they went back home to Sacramento. My best friend, he passed away. That was my best. We formed our relationship in college. Like we formed our relationship in college. He was originally from Dallas, but he was originally from Dallas, but he went to school in Sacramento. So that's how he had that connection with Texas Southern. And then me and him, we was just, that was my everyday guy. That was my everyday guy. We did damn near everything together. He ended up passing away, and then it was just me left at Texas Southern. And it was just me left at Texas Southern, and I went through a real deep depression phase after my sophomore year in college. A real deep depression phase because, all my homies just seemed like everything wasn't going my way. It wasn't, things started to change to something that I was unfamiliar with, that I wasn't comfortable with um, prior to my first 2 years there. But I would say through that depression phase and through not going to class, staying in my room because I feel like I was a lone wolf, or I didn't have a circle of a social group to be around, um, or I just felt like an outcast. I would stay in my room, do whatever I do, you know, and but what I came to realize through that is that it's okay to be a lone wolf. It's okay to be a popular loner, to do your own thing, because you know, as you try to strive for success and the betterment of yourself, you're gonna lose a lot of people. A lot of people are going to fall off. A lot of people are going to go different ways, and that's like that old cliche. Some people are in your life for a season and not a reason, so um after I got over that and really started to do my own thing and find my own way and network with my own group of like-minded individuals, things just started to open up for me at Texas Southern. I eventually was blessed with the opportunity to serve as our communications department, Mr. Communications. I had the opportunity to do that. I had the opportunity to start my own network at Texas Southern and had people from Texas Southern, you know, help me put that together. I had no idea what I was doing. When I first started my network, when I was had one camera, a couple lights that I bought off of Amazon. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't even know how to work my camera. I was just interviewing people, setting it up. The focus was blurry. Like I didn't even know how to focus the camera. I was just like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is the vision that that guy given me, and I discovered all of this through my depression phase. Like now that I have all these friends, and I'm not necessarily um, following the pack. I'm not following the pack. I had to start thinking for myself and doing the things that I like to do. And that made me, during that time, it gave me a lot of time to self reflect and self reevaluate on my life and the things that I like, and being myself, not trying to fit in or be liked by anyone. So that's when I started to get back into, I started the network and I started to get back into film and started to get back into acting. A lot of people don't know, unless you a day one. I did theater throughout high school, and that was a situation that I was forced in. I didn't even want to do theater. So when it came to media and film entertainment, my hand was kind of forced to be in that. And I'm grateful that those people did push me and challenge me to be in it, because they seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. I wanted to be in the NBA. I wanted to hoop. I was running track. I'm like, come on now. I'm a 3-sport athlete. That's what, all my coaches, all my parents, they tried to instill in me growing up. You want to be a 3-sport athlete. You want to work every muscle in your body. You want to make sure that, you using all your resources at wherever you at, getting an education. So that's what I was taught growing up. But sports didn't work out for me. A lot of people that try to instill that early into athletes. Oh, be a 3-sport athlete. You got to work hard. Do this. That's not fun, yo. Like it's not fun doing that. It's not fun doing that. So, I got over the fact that I'm this jock, the cool kid on campus, and now my hand is getting forced to be a leading role in the play. And but that moment changed my life in high school. That moment changed my life is when I met my first mentor, Deion Taylor. A lot of you might be familiar with the name of Deion Taylor. He wrote Meet the Blacks 1 and 2, Fatale. He's actually alumni at my high school in California, and he came to speak to our class, and we connected from there. He gave me my first opportunity to be an entrepreneur, to be an intern for his movie that's out right now. It's been out since 2018. It's called Traffic, with Paula Patton, Omar Epps, and a bunch of big other notable Hollywood names. It's in that movie. I had the opportunity to intern on that and really understand how the business works. And the thing about Dion, it was I will always, show my support for him and the little impact that he had on my life. Dion only mentored me for about a month and a half, but it changed my whole perspective of how I think in life. Even now, if I send him a text or send him a letter or something, he still remembers me and he'll get back to me. But that really showed me like, hey, there's more to life than just sports growing up as an athlete. It's more to life to just sports growing up as an athlete. And as well as he helped me get over that hump of not caring what people think about me, because I was so deep into sports, and from the community environment that I was in, being an actor was kind of looked at as corny. If you wasn't hooping, you wasn't playing football, you just corny, like, or you just a regular Joe. But that was the opposite for me. And it really caught me off guard because I'm just being my natural self. I act like this in class. I act like this when I'm on the team with my bros. And then my first show ever, never acted before, never had any acting lessons before. We sold out the whole school. People was instantly gravitating towards me. It was like a shock. I was like a shock because I was like, I didn't feel like I did anything so impactful, but to others, it was very impactful. And then from there, I was like, hey, I'm better at this than I am in sports. So let me keep going with this. So I just kept going with this and kept going with the acting. I started acting like my junior year in high school. I did a play my junior year. I did a play my senior year. I never got the opportunity to do a play at Texas Southern, but at Texas Southern, that's when I uh, started to do things myself, not waiting on people to give me the opportunity. And that's one of the things that Dion was telling me a lot at the age of 17, 16, that I had no clue of what he was saying. Like, I didn't know. He said, you got to do this yourself, man. You got to do this yourself. He just kept telling me that. I'll be riding in the car with him. We going to different locations and we'd be talking on set. He used to call me O. He Yo, oh, you gotta do this yourself, man. You gotta do this yourself. You can give a few to Hollywood, but a lot of them you gotta do it yourself. And I really didn't understand what that meant until I got to college and started to network with people, and a lot of the things from a media and film standpoint. For instance, right now, what you're doing and the things that I do as well too. You're doing this podcast by yourself. You're not looking for no distribution company or uh no brand like Revolt or um whoever, all these big name brands, to give you a platform to be able to put your content out there. You really have to do this yourself, and there's no other way it's going to happen unless you do this yourself. If you didn't, that's if you didn't start from the beginning of planning how you want to get to a revolt or get to a BET. If you didn't start planning from the beginning, don't get mad when, you're not getting the call back, because you should have been started that from the beginning. And that's something that I had to learn and humble myself with, because of course, no shame in my game. I replied to Revolt. I replied to what they called uh I can't think of their name right now, but they do a lot of work with Tidal, which is a black owned company as well, platform as well too. A lot of these, media outlet companies that you see people interning for all the time. I applied to them. I didn't get it because I didn't have the I was I wasn't I personally wasn't certified. Like, even though I was skilled and had the talent, you need to have a paper trail of that as well too. So I didn't get it, and then I'm glad that I didn't get it, because now, even though my platform is on the up and under, it's on the up and under, the creativity and the freedom that I have to be able to connect with people is way much better. It's way much better. And then the pattern of that is like, so many people have done it this way. A lot of people have done it this way. And that just makes it a little bit more bittersweet. Makes it a little bit more bittersweet when you can have a vision of something, put it into place, and see it be executed. Uh, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I just want to continue to keep on building when it comes to that, and that's what I'm grateful to wrap that back all around. All I said to wrap that all back around. That's how I'm grateful for attending TSU, and that's what TSU has taught me, and opened up my mind to. So yeah.
Wow, man. No, yeah. That was a mouthful of wisdom, gems. Just, I needed that. I really like it. You're probably not into astrology, which is okay. A lot of guys aren't. But
I'm very deep into astrology actually,
oh,
but I try not to speak on it too much because people can be a little
turned
uh
off by it.
turned off and uh analytical when it comes to certain things. It's like, people like, oh, you're a Cancer, I'm a Cancer, so they instantly think that I'm just an emotional roller coaster. Um, Granted, it's different variations to it. So when it comes to astrology, everything that you read from an astrology standpoint or off an astrology page, it's to give you clues and hints to put things together that's going on within your own personal life. It's not, that doesn't define who you are. Like, it doesn't define who you are as a person. Yeah, I'm very I can be emotional in certain circumstances because I'm very passionate. I'm a very passionate and caring person. Anything that I do, I'm going to make sure that I do it to the best of my ability. And of course, I'm not afraid to cry, and that's a lot of things that men need to get out of nowadays, like crying. Like, bro, I think uh, I think I probably went about like 2 years without crying, and then I just had a real deep conversation with my mom. I've trying to figure I was trying to figure things out in my life at the time after my best friend had passed away, and then trying to figure out some answers that I had in my head about my childhood trauma and all that type of thing. It was about 2 years since I cried, and when I cried, like, oh my gosh, I released so much anger, so much pain, and I had so much clarity, and I had so much clarity moving forward on my life. But I was holding that in and keeping that so close that it was blocking my vision. It was really blocking my vision. I was waking up angry, had an attitude for no reason because of some shit that happened when I was a kid, or for some shit that was out of my control. Like, sometimes you just have to cry, let it go, and that's what it be. So whether that's, I probably won't cry in front of nobody, but I'll cry in the shower. I'll probably cry in front of my mom. That's probably the only person that I'll cry in front of. But uh, other than that, I'm not afraid to cry, or not to admit that I cry either. So
I love that. Omari, real quick. How good are we on time? Do you have like 10 minutes after you have 10 extra
yeah,
minutes? You good? Okay,
yeah.
good. I have a few more questions, but I saw we have like time. Okay. Okay, so I'm saying that my dad's a Cancer, right? My dad being a cancer, I think actually helped since I didn't have my mom. Being emotional actually helped fill those spaces. You know, my dad being a cancer, him being very intuitive. He didn't have to say everything; he just felt it.
Mhm.
And my dad, I think cancers, just from my understanding of it, they are amazing at teaching and breaking complex things down into simple things. My
Mhm.
dad has literally, I always say, the camera you see today is because of my father. My dad named me first, middle name, everything. Just very hands on, and I love cancers. Just as like people to have in your corner. Like y'all are like that home, like just safety, like just I don't know. That's just something I
Safe place where for people to be able to come, and whether they want to vent, just to vent or need somebody to listen to it. Cancers are great listeners.
dependable,
Yeah,
very dependable, very
absolutely.
dependable. So I just wanted to say that, like I knew it was something. I don't know, like I just felt like I liked you.
Mhm.
That's that's it. Simple. But what has been the most difficult for you in becoming who you are today?
Doubt and fear. I let so many. I've passed up on so many opportunities. If you listen to this right now on the Camry show, do not let doubt or fear hold you back. Because the bottom line is, and you probably heard this so many times, you're never going to be prepared the first time you do something. Ever. The first time you do something, you're never going to be prepared. So just do it, yo. Just do it. Cause a lot of this I'm about to put this on a shirt when 2024 comes. A lot of this shit that we're doing right now is now or never. If you don't do it now, it's never going to happen. So just do it. Do not let doubt or fear hold you back. Because a lot of the people that we see in our family and like, damn, they're so talented. I don't know what happened, what went wrong. It's because they had fear and doubt. A lot of them had kids too, but that's another book to tell. That's another book to tell. But that's what held me back a lot was doubt and fear. Like I was fearful of what people would think of me and how people would look at me, and I would doubt myself. Like maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I can't do it. But I'm gonna let the universe tell you no. Don't let yourself tell you no. Let the universe tell you no first. So, and once you learn that and you be present, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna all come full circle, and you're gonna see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Ooh. Cancer just be. Do you know who Wall Street Trapper is?
I do. That's my guy.
He's a cancer too. I'm only bringing this up, right? So Wall Street Trapper, I went to one of his events. He had the modules, he had the whole materials to go with his whole production. Man, one thing I do know, cancers be fly, but they should be on point too. When they really in they shit, like 50 Cent, they should be like legit, stacked up, got the boom boom
Oh,
boom.
50 of cancer?
50 Cent's a cancer. Yeah, that's why he be cutting people out. Y'all, one thing
No,
about they,
no wonder why me and 50 be bumping heads sometimes, man.
yeah.
Me
But
and 50
y'all,
be bumping heads sometimes.
why? Why you say that?
This is an off the record moment, and 50, I hope you do see this. I hope you do see this, because I'm going to thank you, 50, because you motivated me to a whole nother level. You turning me into a whole nother individual when it comes to just ambition and drive. I auditioned for BMF, y'all. I auditioned for BMF. Granted, 50, he's doing his thing. BMF, the Power trilogy is very successful. I watch it. I'm definitely a fan. But when I auditioned for BMF, when Lil Meech had the braids, I seen Lil Meech too with the braids. I stood in line. I was waiting to tell this story too. I stood in line for 12 hours to audition for BMF, and I didn't get to audition. I stood in line from 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 p.m. I took a flight from Houston to Atlanta during Super Bowl weekend in 2019. I should have known that I shouldn't have went during Super Bowl weekend, because it kind of just turned out like, kind of turned out to like a thing. 50's in Atlanta. He's starting this new show, BMF. It kind of was just like a press promo type of thing. It wasn't really an open casting call, but there was people out there that was really trying to get it, get to it and change their lives. And they didn't get to audition. There was all these different stipulations and all these waiver forms that you had to fill out the day of, that when we've been planning for this weeks prior was never none of that. It was just show up to this location, stand in line. When you get to the front, sign your name on a little paper or whatnot. Then it got to, oh, we don't have no more waiver forms. Like, granted, like a lot of people came to the location, but they just came to see 50 and Lil Meech. They didn't come to audition. So it kind of turned into more so like a press promo type of thing instead of really audition. But before I could even audition, it turned into a promo thing. And that hurt me. That definitely hurt me. And that's why I said earlier in this interview, do it yourself. Don't wait for nobody to give you an opportunity. Do it yourself. Don't wait for nobody to give you an opportunity, because something like that, if I didn't knew what I knew prior to going into that, that could have ended my career. Like, that could have broken me. Like, I flew just a 2-day flight. 2 days. I was out there for 2 days. Flew in, auditioned the next day, and I was flying out the day after that. So that could have broke me. But it didn't. It made me realize that I'm just do this myself. And then now, y'all, I'm 2 short films in. Got my own network going, and just gonna continue building on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, we are, man. And emphasis on the do it yourself. Do not wait. Like, do not wait for people to put you on. Do not wait. Do not wait. Do not wait.
You'll be waiting a long time, yo. You'll be waiting a long time.
And don't call that racism bullshit that I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm from the hood. So what? We all are. Most people in the world come from poverty. Majority of people in the world are poor, okay? And the poverty we have, people would love to have the poverty we have, okay? So I just want to emphasize that for sure, because in 2021 when I graduated, I was in HBCU in LA, Beats by Dre, working my ass off, man. I didn't get no internships, no callbacks, no Disney, no Hulu, no Netflix, no nothing, right? But I'm amazing though. But I know I'm the best. But I know I'm the greatest, right?
Right.
Still, you really have to like talk that shit to yourself and hype yourself up just to keep going, And I'm just glad you pointed that out, because you will be waiting forever, man. Waiting for people to.
It's crazy because now I think too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's crazy because now I think too, the reason why, you have similar experiences, or I had similar experiences, why I couldn't get that is because I feel like my purpose was way greater, like way greater, way bigger. And the people that did get those positions, kudos to them. But I feel like that they were more controllable than an individual like me that's gonna go in there and, call a thing for a thing and tell it what it is and what it's not. If you know, tell it what it is and tell it what it's not. So that's why I feel like I missed out on a lot of those positions, because, some of those companies, if I was there, probably could have got exposed to a lot of different things. Got exposed to a lot of different things. So do it yourself, and don't let nobody wait on to give you no opportunity. And also, this is the last game I'm gonna give before we transition into the next question. Be prepared for when you meet the person that can change your life. I heard somebody say that. Shout out to the guys over at Earn Your Leisure, EYL. If y'all watch them, be prepared for when you meet the person that can change your life. Just be prepared for that. And whatever that is that you're doing, a clothing designer, podcaster, whatever it is that you're doing, be prepared. And that person can be that could be a distributor that can help you get your platform out. It could be it can be a big name interview. It could be a platform who wants to, who wants to push out your show, or broaden your audience. Just be prepared for when you meet those people, and your time's gonna come. Just keep grinding.
Yes, sir. All right, my final question for you, Omari. Oh my gosh, amazing conversation.
Yeah. I made your job a little easy today, huh?
I did, but that's because we both still in location, so you kind of like you used to this type of setup. You know how this shit go, So
absolutely,
you just like me.
Mm.
What do you want to accomplish before you transition and leave this earth?
I want I want generational freedom for my family, and I feel like the reason why I wasn't able to get none of these jobs is because that's what my task is to build it from ground up for my family to break these generational cycles. And nobody's in my family's I mean, granted, there's a few mid-level entrepreneurs in my family, but there's not a lot of people in my family that's trying to take it to the scale that I'm trying to take it to. And I feel like when it comes to the film and entertainment industry, it's either go big or go home. Like I said, it's now or never. So that's one of the things before I leave this earth. I want generational freedom for my family, like my nephews, my nieces that are growing up. You know, I don't want them to play sports or feel like that's what they need to do to be able to make it out of their environment or to make their mom happy. Like my nephews are in coding right now. They're doing technology, and my niece, she's has her own braiding license. She hasn't even graduated from high school yet. So I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to not only lead by example, but instill that into them as well too. To don't wait for nobody to give you a check. Don't wait for nobody. I'm people still giving me a check right now, but ain't no shame in my game. People still giving me a check right now. Ain't no shame in my game, but uh, eventually I'm gonna be paying myself, or I'm gonna be paying other people. So that's what I that's what I that's what I'm going to accomplish. And also speak everything into existence. Don't say, I hope I can do this. I hope I can do that. Say, no, I'm going to do this no matter when it happens. Because ideas or ideas don't have a expiration date on them. You know, ideas don't have an expiration date on them. Your goals don't have an expiration date on them. A lot of successful people didn't come successful or millionaires until they were 30 or 35. So, um, yeah, generation. I want to break generational curses.
Yay, we
Generational
did
freedom.
it!